In the previous chapter, we discovered the power of MaxScript to change any number of object properties at once. This approach works great when dealing with static properties of unique objects. As you probably know, 3ds Max provides a rather flexible object instancing system that lets you create multiple instances of the same object in the scene. When instancing objects, all instances use the same base object and modifier stack, but have unique node level properties including position, rotation, scale, name, material, and so on. As you know, changing the parameters of any of the instances affects all the other objects. When creating references, all references share the same base object and modifiers up to the point where the reference was created, but can have unique modifiers above that point. In this case, we have a box with the bend modifier, which we're going to clone multiple times as a reference. Up to this point, both the modifier and the base object behave as an instance. But we can select any of the objects and assign a unique modifier above the line of reference, which is going to affect only this object and not the others. .3ds Max also lets you add instance modifiers to multiple objects. For example, if we create a box, create a couple of copies, select them all and apply a single modifier, this modifier is going to be instanced among all the selected objects, but its bounding box is affecting the group of objects and not every single one. Another way to do this and get the bounding box affecting only a single object is to create a couple of copies first, then assign a single modifier to one of the objects, then while holding the control key, drag and drop the modifier as an instance to all the other clones. The base objects are still unique, but the modifier is an instance. There is yet another level of possible instancing, which is hidden deep in the track view and is usable only with just few objects, as it requires too many clicks. It is the possibility to instance single animation controllers to make only specific parameters instanced while keeping our other parameters independent. For example, let's create a box, create a couple of copies, open track view, expand the tracks of one of the objects, select a parameter, right-click, assign controller, assign a Bezier float, then right-click again, copy that controller, expand the tracks of the next object, right-click, and paste as an instance. Then repeat for all the other objects. At this point, changing the parameter that is sharing the single animation controller is going to affect all the objects, while changing any of the other parameters is going to affect them only locally.